From time immemorial, our ancestors have put a deep meaning into any of their occupations, and the subtleties of different crafts were kept, passing from generation to generation. These are details, important accents of which the culture and way of living of the great steppe civilization were built for centuries. The School of Nomads is for studying the past, creating the present to build the future. I came to Kyrgyzstan. The history, customs, and traditions of the country are very similar to ours. And here, I am not alone. Thousands of people came from all over the world to this small but hospitable country. And all because their next World Nomad Games are held. This is a big and bright holiday. Today's gathering hundreds of representatives from all over the world who inherited nomadic culture. For the first time, this unique festival was held in 2014. Not only the representatives of the Turkic nomadic peoples come here, but also the descendants of other nomadic tribes from all over the world. The purpose of this festival is the revival and preservation of the culture of nomadic civilization. The World Nomad Games give particular attention to the issue of ecology. So this time, the official mascot of the games is a snow leopard, which is at risk of extinction. The opening ceremony of the World Nomad Games is breathtaking. Participants of competitions from different countries held the grand procession under the flags of their states. There is a special aura. It seems that this energy can be felt even on the other side of the screen. After all, the philosophy of this event is to develop ethnoculture and preserve the identity of nomadic peoples. After the solemn opening, competitions are held on various kinds of games for 8 days, like Gokbar and Baige and wrestling and many others. In addition to the competitions, in a picturesque place on Jailau Kirchen, cultural and entertainment events were organized. In this beautiful place, there are 1,000 yurts in the gorge, a whole ethno-town. I would call it a mini-state. Here each region and each district of Kyrgyzstan have erected their yurts and have welcomed guests warmly. They demonstrate the culture and way of life of nomad Kyrgyz, showing all the diversity and richness of Kyrgyz ethnoculture. Everything is fascinating, starting from costumes to musical instruments. Cultural heritage and interesting traditions are shared not only by the Kyrgyz. Guests from different countries in their yurts and tents prepare their national dishes and treat guests of the festival. Perhaps all these days I will spend in this beautiful place, and I will try to get acquainted with different nomadic cultures. The holiday in Kirchen started also with a grand opening. All spectators enjoyed performance with dances, songs, and equestrian show. Here, everywhere, there is a nomadic spirit. It seems that I went back a few centuries back in time machine. So I continue my journey in the ethno wool. Of course, all the yurts here are erected by the hands of modern masters, but my attention was attracted to this yurt, which is almost 2 centuries old. Wherever I go and wherever I find myself, the history of the local people interests me in the first place. The old yurt has a small hut. According to the founders of Ethno Museum, it is a sample of a marching tent of nomadic warriors and hunters. The design of the skins of animals and the tree is mobile, easy to assemble and disassemble.
Ал жерден көрсөңүздөр тери, жыгач жана топостун жүнүнө.
The design consists of skins, wooden frame, tied with archons of yak wool. Such a hut was used for various campaigns. For example, if the enemy attacked, the nomad could simply leave this hut and rush into battle.
Чай ичкен, тамак ичкен, дем алып, эс алып, көлөкөлөп ошол жерге жашаган.
Antique items are kept inside the half-century yurt too. Jumagul Hanım told about them in detail. I thought that the napkins for dust removal are a modern invention. But look at this. Women of nomadic tribes rub dust with the device of yak wool. I think it is very comfortable. Look, there are also stone grindstones for grinding corns, various household utensils, and clothes. Each item has its own story. The most interesting, all these items are very similar to those used by my ancestors, nomads. Another object that surprised me is the small hut of 2 yurt skeletons.
Өзгөчө бир көпчүлүктүн бүйүрүн кызытып таң калтырган.
This building attracts the attention of all guests, not only foreigners. Even our own citizens do not know the purpose of this small design, and all of them are interested in it. It means that people are interested in knowing their culture. So this shelter, consisting of 2 yurt skeletons, is nothing more than a bedroom for young married couples, a kind of bedroom. It was for newlyweds. They were placed far away from the main yurt in order to let them be somewhere private. In the morning, the young husband grazed out cattle on the pasture, and the daughter-in-law went to the main yurt and prepared toilet accessories for father-in-law and mother-in-law. So every day began like this in a nomadic family.
Ата-энесине, кайнына, кайнатадан үстүнө кире албайт да, ыйба кылып, сырттан даратка суусун дайындап, чайын кайнатып самоорго ата-энесине ийилип чыкканда, таңды тосуп салам берип, күтүп алганда, мына эң жакшы тарбия болгон.
Such a small dwelling, and what important role it played. It seems that our ancestors were not only practical, but also delicate in some issues. I am glad that these values are preserved and tell the culture and life of our peoples. Nomads, like other nationalities, had their own beliefs. Look at this child's dressing gown sewn from the scraps. Our ancestors treated with this chapan. Is it true? For example, if the babies were constantly dying in the family and there was no medicine at that time, then people had no choice but to believe in superstitions. So the future mother collected a scrap of cloth from 40 families, where there are many children, and she sewed such a robe for her. It was given to a newborn, and believed that miraculous scraps would save the baby from death. They say this gown fulfilled its mission. The kid who wore it grew strong and lived to the advanced age. First, I paid my attention to the digital character 40. After all, we're bathing 40-day babies in 40 tablespoons of water, and water is poured by women who have healthy children. One more thing that has a deep meaning is the feminine headdress of Kimeshek.
Әжелеріміздің киетін, басына киетін киім ішегі.
Башыға киген киімдерден атап өте тұрған болған болсақ, біздің нарын, ысыккөл.
If we talk about headdresses, in our regions, in Narin, Issyk-Kul, Talas, Chu, it is called Eleshek, and in Jalalabad, Osh, and Batken, it is called Talyak.
Kələk деген бұл ошо элечектин эле бир
This is one type of Eleshek. It consists of 25 meters of fabric, which is wrapped around the head, and on top it is embroidered, something like between Kimeshek and kerchief.
Эмне үчүн биз ошондой көп материалдардан жасаганыбыздын себеби кыргыз эли көчмөн калп.
Maybe you do not understand why we need such a long fabric.
Айрылган маалда
It's simple. We're nomads who wandered in the spring for Jailao, in winter for the Kastau.
чыкканда жаңы жыл келди деп
And our grandmothers wrapped the cloth on their heads. Now I have an ordinary kerchief because I do not need to carry a roll of cloth with me. And in those days, the nomadic people were born and died on the road, in the mountains or in the steppe.
себеби дегенде азыр бар.
And the fabric of grandmothers served in one case as a shroud for the deceased, in another case, a diaper for the baby.
Жолдо кетип жатканда кокустан адамдын көзү өтүп калган болсо, биз кепин катарында пайдаланганбыз. Ал эми келиндерибиз төрөгөн болсо, ал ошол кичинекей бөбөктү оронгон оронгуч катарында пайдаланып келген.
Wow, what practicality! Just with the mobile life of nomads, Kimeshek is also an important part of the women's wardrobe in our culture. We know that our women put it on after they became mothers, but few know about its other purposes. For example, the Kimeshek protected the women from the summer heat, cold, and frost and wind. This comfortable headdress is sewn from a large piece of fabric with a slit for the face. Falling down, the Kimeshek covers the body of a woman almost to the waist. In addition to convenience, Kimeshek has a deep, sacred meaning. It was believed that this headdress protects against the evil eye of a woman. After all, the nomads have covered their heads since childhood, and if the little girls wore small skull caps and could only show their braids, the girls married and changed the tubiteka to a handkerchief. And after the birth of the child, they even put on a closed Kimeshek. Our mothers paid a great attention to the purity of the soul and body, and that's why this headpiece was made only from white cloth. See what beautiful grandmothers are in amazing Kimeshek. Yes, and how they are singing. As I said, at this festival, the culture of not only the Kyrgyz people is represented. Representatives of cultures came from the farthest corners of our planet. You probably recognize at once these people in white clothes. Certainly, they're Arabs, visitors from United Arab Emirates. Now these men are dancing their ancient national dance, which they got from their ancestors, Bedouin nomads. In their hands, they have national instruments. They sing songs and raise the mood of all the people. The most interesting thing is that some traditions of the Arabs somewhere resemble our customs. For example, a young groom should pay not only the red and white form of jewelry made of gold and money, but also give different clothes to parents and relatives, just like the Kazakhs. Although our countries are far from each other, our traditions are very similar, so I go further. Here I saw different things woven on the loom, which is very similar to the machines of our grandmothers. And things seemed familiar to me. For example, here is an alternate bag. The Arabs call it horj, and we Kazakhs call korjan. And here is the similarity. I wanted to try to weave together with Arab women. These are such different items, but I did not cope with. I spoiled everything. These are the leaves of the date palms. Various objects for everyday life are made from them. For example, dishes to put the same dates, and they make various tools for the kitchen. Arabs, after all, live in a very hot country, and therefore they weave even a fan from the date leaves. Everything can be weaved, as the hostess wants, brooms and stands, and even such covers for dishes. Yes, the Arabs are also a nomadic people in the past, the Bedouins, who also found adaptations to everything that surrounds them. So the date palm tree has become for them a source for various materials, whether it be leaves, bark, roots, and naturally fruits. And even if I did not manage to weave something all in Arabic style, but I am still glad that I saw a lot of new interesting things. The Arabs came to the festival with a large delegation, and they gladly introduced the audience to their culture, so the guests in the Bedouin tent are arriving more and more. In this amazing ethnic city, everything is created for pleasant leisure. And of course, you feel a nomadic spirit. You can ride a horse or you can sit on a camel. I was just interested in these animals. Yaks, their breeding is proper to this mountainous region. Kyrgyz call this animal topazami. Kemelaga, please tell us more about these pet animals. They're really helpers of nomadic peoples. Of course, first horses and camels go, and grunting oxen follow them. Today very few people breed them. We keep yaks from time immemorial. We use them as pack animals, ride them too. Yak is useful. It is a transport. We eat meat, we drink milk, we make kefir, sour cream. Using everything and wool and skin, hooves and even horns. And the horn for what? They make buttons from them. The height of the grunting ox at the withers can reach up to 2 meters. The weight of an animal can be up to 1 ton. On the withers of the grunting ox, there's a small hump, which makes the back seem sloping. Probably, first of all, people value yaks for strength. Of course, yak is capable of lifting a cargo weighing half a ton. On it we transport yurts. In comparison with cows, its hair is longer. From it, we weave the lasso. Yes, the wool is thick. Yes, this is its feature. Yaks live in the mountains and therefore are resistant to a cold climate. From that the wool is long. In addition to strength, nomads also appreciate yak milk. In a day the female can give up to 10 liters. Such large animals with huge horns and a severe look are actually very calm. It's very convenient to ride them. While I was riding the yaks through the mountains, in the Ethno-Wool, we saw rope walkers from Uzbekistan gathered the audience and impressed everyone with their skill. Stans called spectators to participate. Of course, I was in the forefront. So this guy has to jump over all of us. Someone in the column is not sure about the jumper, but somebody does not doubt in a successful trick, while others call to hold each other, so that not to drop the acrobat. So jump, and everything is okay. Spectators applaud the hero. We are also glad that we were involved in this action. Leaving the rope walkers, I moved on and again saw the crowd of onlookers. I'm interested too. There are so many different games and contests for ordinary people, like me. Here, for example, you can not only win, but also win a little money. It is necessary to just hang on the bar a little more than 2 minutes. I'll certainly try. Not so simple as it seemed to me from the outside. The crossbar is scrolling, and it needs a lot of effort. Forces are running out. I can't do anymore. A minute and 37 seconds, another 20 seconds, and I would have won. But it is fine. After all, the main thing is not victory, but participation. I am happy and continuing to participate in other folk games. Here, please, another interesting match, and also with a prize. The winner will get a prize, lamb. So why not try my luck? Because the conditions are pretty easy. It should throw rings from a distance of 4 meters to reach the targets in the form of lambs. So I have 5 rings. 3 of them flew past the targets. There are 2 more attempts, 4th unsuccessful, and the last ring. The spectators support me. I'm determined. Cheers! I was able to throw a ring. The promised lamb was presented to me. It turned out to be a toy piggy bank, and what a pretty one. May the gift from the Kyrgyz brothers bring good luck and wealth. I will give it to my sister. Kyrgyz are very talented people. They sing and dance, everyone from a 7-year-old to 70-year-old people. This musical instrument is similar to our dombra. It is called komuz, refers to stringed instruments. Make it from a single piece of wood. The komuz has 3 strings. I was amazed at this skillful game on this instrument. Just listen and better look. This Kyrgyz musician played more than other folk instruments, and I asked to perform something on the common for all nomadic peoples, the instrument, the harp. On the beautiful Kirchin, the day is coming to an end. Soon we will see sunset, but the people do not hurry to say goodbye. I decided to climb one of the towers and record my feelings from the day I spent. The richest legacy that we got from the great nomadic civilization. Times go by, we can forget some things, and I'm very glad that Kyrgyz brothers have organized such a festival, thanks to which we revive our common ancient culture. I want to wish these people good luck and thanks for this wonderful holiday, which gathered in one place the descendants of the great nomadic civilization.